Well, hey everybody, it's Tuesday, November
8th.
I'm on the, you know what? Okay, this is totally weird because I'm on the wrong screen. I gotta move this real quick. Bear with me. Now I'm on the right screen and I can actually look at people and feel like I'm actually looking at things, because if I look at that screen where it was, then it looks like I'm looking out there and you guys like, what's he looking at? What's so cool over there? And then you're probably like this, trying to look around. You know what? My bad, Jeff.
Hey,
Jeff and I are in amazing physical and mental
shape.
shape. Yeah, that's a word. I like it. My mic's not even in the right spot. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm probably on fire. If I'm too loud, I'm sorry, people. Craig Hutchison, good evening. Who else we got? David Jones, what's up? Backroads Trucking. Hey, wait. I know that name. That's we talked, right? This is the account you use, right? Anyhow, hit me back. If you're who I think you are, I was dipping in your number. I see somebody behind Jeff. Hi.
Uh-oh.
It's a daughter person. No, I can't tell. It's a small person. Let's. Oh! Caught! I got her.
Yep, that's a Rachel. She's trying to be sneaky.
Oh God, not that. James Vaughn, what's up, buddy?
She will walk up to strangers and hug them out of nowhere at Walmart, but she will not.
Coming to get you, man. Be careful.
Yeah,
it's growing near. This is great. Wait. I'm going to do this. I can't help it. Yes. Let's make it bigger.
Yeah, now we're full screen. Got Rachel's butt in the air.
Oh my God, my bad. I'm sorry, Jeff. Hi, Rachel.
Yeah, so yeah.
Sweet Lord.
So Charley called, texted me and said he had one of his famous migraines.
Yeah.
About an hour before the show. I got the COVID booster yesterday and it's starting to kick my butt now. So we're just going to be not remembering stuff today, I think.
We are all over it. I mean, this is exceptional. This is going to be fun. I'm just coming out of my migraine, so I'm a little foggy and just crammed a bowl of food in my mouth. I was eating rice and chicken and cream of chicken stuff. You know, there's this old basic thing that my mom used to make. And then she got my wife making it when we were kids, and it's cheap. And oh my God, it's like one of my favorite things to eat ever. It's weird.
My wife made me homemade chicken soup.
Oh, we had to do that the week before we went out when we were stupid sick. Yeah, it was nothing better than homemade chicken soup. Oh man, unless
the heck
Rosie makes it.
James Vaughn, what's going on with you, man?
Say it how you mean it, man.
Yes. Quick glance over the comments. I'm like, well, that sucks.
Oh man, James, why'd you blow it up, buddy? Oh man. My God. The comments are, what is going on? Okay, I just got to put this up because I just like this.
So every November, I do try to grow a beard, and it lasts about maybe 2 weeks because it gets to that itchy point, and I can't do it.
I am
trying. I am.
Like, I wonder who Kevin is and what the problem is now.
I was focusing on the question, but okay.
Train wreck, I'm telling you. I'm sorry. I'm just lazy. That's all.
Yeah, I got it going a little bit. Not too much yet. It's only about 3 days growth.
Oh. So you got the MRP, yeah, 80/20 thing.
3,000 for a radiator? They've gone up, haven't they? Last time I replaced one, it cost me $1,200.
I think that's about what my last one was, but that was
That was like 3 years ago, though.
Yeah, mine was way longer than that.
Pre-COVID. We're saying that's a thing now, Charlie. Pre-COVID,
Oh my
post-COVID.
god, pre-COVID.
It's one of those dates in history that people are gonna say in the before times, and they mean before COVID.
Right? Yeah, I feel like Alan might be right here unless James, you know something different for sure, because I didn't think the radiator was in that. Oh Lord. Oh, Paul says you guys are on fire today. You guys all got in here early today, didn't you? Yeah,
Yeah.
mine was under insurance, so hey, give me 10 minutes. I'll be fine. I'm not putting that up. I got you back, Roads. I thought that's who it was, if I remembered right. So yeah, I talked to Backroads this week and had some crazy numbers for the months of September, October. I did get that info from Sue today. Thanks for having her shoot that over to me, and I did get to look at some of it.
So
I got to
that's the
really
guy
dive
that
into it.
we were talking about him behind his back and all that stuff.
Yep. He's got some crazy numbers. I need to, you know what? I actually need to get with Sue a little bit deeper on this because she shared their side of the numbers that they see on the screens and all that, which is different than we're used to seeing from the portal on the settlements and stuff like that. And you know what? I am so off my game. Hey, I'll be right back. Let's do this fuel surcharge, guys. Right? Because, you know, we're in the first couple minutes.
That thing.
Let's do that thing. Oh, my God. Here we go.
Told you we forget stuff.
Pow. So the national fuel cost went up 0.016 to 5.333. West Coast Pad 5 went down 0.046 elections today. What? Bet it goes up next week. Just saying. From to 5.764. We're going to get yelled at for that one. Yeah. What is wrong with me? Oh, God. Anyhow, so that's going to bring the fuel surcharge this week to 0.691, which is an increase of 0.4. And the West Coast fuel surcharge is dropped to 0.07 from 0.08 last week because that the deficit between West Coast or the Pad 5 and the national average is 0.431 and shrinking apparently. But I bet it goes up next week. Just saying. Anyhow, that's probably more than I should say. So yeah, whatever. And there you have it. Jeff.
Yep.
Oh my.
I have nothing to say, man.
Right?
Nothing. And,
hey, we can play this amazing commercial.
I'm gonna put this up here because we've talked about this before. We don't disagree with you on that, Ross. We'll just kind of leave it at that.
Right.
And we don't understand why there isn't. Because, you know, obviously we could see the Pad 5. What's that one, Charlie? Charlie knows. Charlie knows everything. That's the Pad what? Is that the Pad 1 and it goes from east to west or something?
The East Coast Pad 1 is a thing, and that's actually split up into Pad 1A, 1B, 1C. And that's New England, Central Atlantic, and Lower Atlantic. So yeah, the Northeast or the New England Pad 1 is actually pretty high at 5.965 by itself.
Wow.
And the Central Atlantic is at 5.977, so even higher. The Lower Atlantic is down at 5.242. So and those three combined is what gives the East Coast Pad 1, which is an average of 5.473, so about 14 cents over the national average all by itself. However, let's keep in mind, I had a big discussion today. Well, not a big discussion. I typed up this big crazy numbers chunk thing in that one group that, you know, anyhow. I was in the other group. And I was telling someone there, you know, they were asking, you know, what's Swift doing for you with the fuel costs and all those sort of things. I'm like, well, you know, I don't know. We got a fuel surcharge that's pretty amazing. And I broke it down. And I broke down my week this week. And I have some numbers somewhere, but I lost them clearly because I'm not smart. And yeah, so I was running through it, and on this week's numbers, I was actually paid like 3,100 miles loaded. So it actually turned out to be a better week than I thought it was going to be in a bad week.
Keep in mind, guys, that Charlie and Rosie do run team.
Right? Yeah, yeah, definitely. We're supposed
there.
to be running team. We only did barely 3,100. But we were paid for 3,100, but actually only drove 31. So we actually came out on the right end of that equation this time for once, right? Which is, hit and miss. It comes and goes. Every other week seems to be, one way or the other. We only used 362 gallons. That was an average of 8.37 miles per gallon for the week, which is low for me, honestly. But the interesting part was the fuel surcharge. And I failed to add in the West Coast fuel surcharge in these numbers when I was doing this post. But the fuel surcharge paid me $2,144. I only spent $1,695, and that was using data.
Mm-hmm. And you shop for fuel, though.
I did shop for fuel, absolutely.
You didn't just willy-nilly stop at the Pilot or whatever.
Right. No. And it was definitely good prices. I mean, I hit the same QT on the way out that I hit on the way back. And it was the absolute cheapest price along the I-10 corridor on data from Jacksonville, Florida to Phoenix and beyond, really. But let's be real. But yeah, so I actually made $448.55 clear on the fuel surcharge this week. Wait, and an extra $140 for the West Coast that I got this week. So, that's $580 that I made off of the fuel surcharge all by itself. It's not my mileage rate. It's not accessorial pay. It's not layovers, anything. That is what it is. I was like, man, that's actually not bad, really. So I don't know. Nobody responded to me on that post because I'm too long-winded and whatever.
Well, you're Mr. Swift too, so nobody.
Oh, here we go, Mr. Swift and his trusty sidekick. Yeah, whoop whoop. Wait, I pointed the wrong way. Damn it! I'm gonna learn someday which way to point.
No, you're not.
I had a nice day out in the yard with the kids in the backyard earlier before my headache came on. That was kind of cool. Sorry, just thought I'd share that. You're playing hide and seek. I was picking up Nerf darts from 2 weeks ago. They were everywhere.
You know what I miss?
I got jokes.
Squirrel. So you know what I miss, Charlie?
What's that, man?
You remember these lawn darts?
Yeah, the real lawn darts.
The real ones with the metal tip.
The ones that are outlawed now.
Yeah. If I could get a hold of some of those, I'd be one happy guy in the summertime.
Right? You know what, Ken? I don't know off the top of my head, but I could tell you right now. If you guys give me a second, I'll pull it up because, yeah, why not? I think that's a good question, and I should know that answer, and I don't.
Of course, nobody else knows what you're trying to answer, so let's just put that up here.
I apologize. Look, I know, dude, so off. I'm telling you, I am still in a fog from that migraine. Oh, good Lord.
So the last time we actually, just so you guys know, the last time we actually tried to figure this out, and Swift is aware of this. We actually talked to Brett about it. I had my son, who's like a bona fide mathematician person, go over that table, and there are 3 separate formulas in that table. Yeah, it's almost like, so remember back when nobody thought would ever get above $3 a gallon, Charlie?
Right.
And then they had to expand it, and it was a different formula.
That's hilarious.
And then nobody thought it would get above $5. So right around the $4.50 or $5 mark, there's another formula. So it's almost like they don't even know. But what it is, what we also found out, having him run the math, it was cool. I'm proud about this. Let me just say how proud I am of my son here. He actually wrote a program to analyze the table.
It was awesome.
And analyze the table to figure out what the algorithm was.
I got someone to geek out with.
3 different algorithms. Charlie still owes my kid lunch.
Absolutely.
If he ever comes up to Canada.
Right.
But it was interesting because it's all in our favor.
Yeah.
like none of it benefits Swift. Like they're kind of getting screwed, actually.
So, Ken, to answer your question, it was funny. The first full month was August for me. Although I would actually argue that I had a full month in July. I just don't think that I worked that much.
Mm-mm.
So that, and I still had the other truck too. So the average, no, because it shows for this unit. It's funny. They averaged me on July's IFTA at 6.3. What? So I clearly overpaid that month because we know that wasn't right. But then for August, they used 10.1 miles per gallon.
So you know how that happens, right?
Weird things.
Because I remember last year or year before when I ran nothing but the I-5 corridor, and I ended up
Right.
calling the the IFTA people because I thought I knew what happened because I didn't buy
Right.
a single drop of fuel outside the state of Oregon because it was literally like the cheapest
Right.
fuel. So I owed 100% of the IFTA that month, and it was like $900 some odd.
Right.
So even though when something like that happens, even though I think I know, I've got to know why that is. So what happens sometimes I found out is if you fuel on the last day of the month and then go home, that fuel purchase gets calculated into your miles per gallon
Oh
that
yeah.
month. And so then it carries over though. So guys, if you're getting cheap fuel, just buy the fuel. Don't
Right.
try and play this game of what about IFTA.
Right.
Just buy the fuel because what happens is the next month you have that tank that you didn't buy that month, and that's how you end up with a 10.1
Right.
on that second month. So, it's the law of averages. Just
And
buy
for
your
the
fuel the way you buy your fuel.
and here we go. The month of September, they have me averaging 8.6. So it's that middle ground between those first
Right.
month, second month, current month. They're still getting my average, which is cool. So yeah, 8.6 for the month of September. We'll see what next month pops up. But yeah, so there you go, Ken. That's a good question, and I'm a little sad I didn't know that answer beforehand without having to look it up. But that's what I like. You guys keep us on our toes, man. You ask us questions, we're like, hey, I don't know. But we will find out.
Yep.
If we don't know, we don't know. And we will tell you we don't know, like for real. I hope you guys can appreciate that because I know that when I ask someone something, I'm like, hey, what's this? And they're like, well, what had happened was just so you don't know, man. It's better that way. I'm good at that, trust me. There's a lot of I don't knows that I give people sometimes. So, oh my God. So what else is going on out here, people? It's a discount has been pennies in the Northeast. Yeah. So, this is where I was going with that earlier, though. I don't have that darn number. I may have to look on the Facebooks and find my post over there because there was actually a number that I wanted to pull out of that was part of what I was trying to say. So bear with me here. There it is. So, I was basing the cost of fuel with 0.691 as the fuel surcharge this week, and basing that on an 8.5 mile per gallon average. So that came out to paying $5.87 a gallon, paying you from the fuel surcharge. Because they pay you 0.691 per loaded dispatch mile
Times 8 point whatever.
times 8.5 miles per gallon. That gave me that they're paying me $5.87.3 a gallon. And the national average is only $5.33. And what we just said a minute ago for you East Coast runners, the New England was at $5.96. So, you definitely need to be getting better than 8.5 for one. Which I did not do this week. I did 8.37. So, like I said, which was low for me. It was a little bit of idle time and some, heavier pedal spots that I should not have used, I'm sure. Just trying to get out of certain spots. But with that said, with the fuel surcharge even running up there at $5.96, you know, you're still only paying 10 cents a gallon after
Right.
fuel surcharge. You know, I
Which I'll
mean,
point out that in the 98 crisis, fuel did not get this high.
right.
And I think that
I
my
mean, 08?
best, whatever, back then,
Yeah, 98, 08, same thing. Whatever.
08, whatever. It's got an 8. I warned you. I warned
We're
you
on
not to let me
fire
on.
today, I
I
tell
warned you
you.
not to let me on the show today.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so I think the best I did in a week during that time was about 8 cents a gallon out of pocket. So we're still doing pretty good
Right.
overall. That Northeast though, that's I don't even know what to say about that, Charlie. It just kind of sucks. Although we would have to run the actual numbers, Charlie, and find out how much of that is IFTA, right?
Which, oh yeah, right.
Because like
Or,
Pennsylvania is pretty high on IFTA, so is New York.
right.
So what are
And
we
you
paying for
know,
the actual fuel compared to Florida?
some of y'all have those. Oh my God, some of y'all have those handy dandy visor IFTA cards that are out there that I'm just saying are still accurate.
Right.
For a minute. I mean, whew, how y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Jeff and I are a train wreck.
Usually it's one or the other of us,
Right.
and today it's both of us.
Oh, good God! You know what? You know what I just realized too.
Hmm.
I never started the phone system.
I don't know that we can handle the phones today.
I know.
So, do you want to announce that thing that we were talking about, and that'll make it so we actually have to do it since we made it public?
Okay, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay, so you know me and names, so let me make sure I'm talking about the right person here. Because I keep Colton, if you're on, I apologize. I keep calling you Kenobi because I can't remember your name, even though we've been texting back and forth for a while now. But Charlie knows who
Kenobi, I
I'm
love
talking
it.
about.
It's,
So
oh my
Colton asked me for a little class on how to do the reports for Swift and for the accountants and all that stuff if he's going to use the ESA card, and it kind of tickled my brain. So we were thinking about doing an actual webinar about fuel purchasing and how to do reports at the end of the month. More than just the reports. Get into IFTA a little bit and stuff towards the end of the month, and it'll be kind of a preview of what we're working on for the other platform when we go to more of a subscription-based thing. So it'll give you guys a chance to see what we're actually working on. If you guys want to join that, we'll put it'll be private. It's not going to go out on YouTube publicly. It's just going to be us, and you can ask us questions live. And if you don't understand something because we didn't say something right, you'll have the chance to ask us to clarify and all that neat stuff.
Right.
Oh, Charlie's going to open up the phones and he's going to black out for a few while he does it. So
yeah, it'll just be a second.
So yeah, that's what we're going to work on. We're going to try and do it before the next time you guys have to report your fuel purchases outside of the con data card, so that we get that part to the people that are new at that. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Charlie and I have had this on our mind for a while. It just requires this thing called math that we don't want to do. Right?
Right. I know.
Because one of the things we want to do is we want to do a couple of routes and do the IFTA and everything. A couple
really
of
break it
transcon
down.
loads and really break down what you guys are paying in that IFTA tax per state, how your fuel purchases will impact your bottom line, and why it's so very important that you actually purchase fuel the way we and other people have said is the best way. It will increase your bottom line, and we just need to work the math to prove it to you. For come on, man. I was the same way, Charlie, years ago. The first time I ever heard about that method of buying fuel, I was like, "You're out of your mind. It's cheaper over there."
For real.
And then it took a
And
while.
then
but
it made sense.
It finally settled in as the years went on. So look forward to that. We'll have a join code for that for you in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, so now that it's out there, we have to do it. That's why I wanted to mention it on the show. You guys hold our feet to the fire, because we're running our trucking businesses as well. So finding the time is we just got to prioritize that a little bit, and we'll get it done. So IFTA in Pennsylvania is 74.1 cents. So I think you said it was $5.90 or something like that. So let's just use that because I can't remember. We'll use $5.90 minus 0.741. If I can work my calculator. So your actual cost for the fuel itself on that one is $5.15. The rest of that is going into your IFTA account, which, yeah, we pay the tax regardless of where we buy fuel, so it doesn't really matter. The thing that matters is you do this calculation that I just did, pump price minus IFTA in each state you're going to run through and find out where the actual cheapest fuel is. Don't worry about the IFTA, right? Just get the cheapest fuel.
Right.
And that will increase your bottom line over, like I'm always saying, Charlie, the month, the quarter, and the year.
Right.
I do pay attention to my weeklies just to see where I'm at for my weekly goal. Oh, well, that was bad. 639, really?
Wow.
639, holy crap.
That's 636.9, but yeah.
Whatever, there's a 9 in there.
Numbers.
This is why it's going to take us 3 weeks to do that to prep for that webinar.
God. Right. Oh my
But
God.
holy crap, that's
crazy.
expensive. I remember the first time, Charlie, I went into Pennsylvania as an owner-operator back in 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And, prices weren't nearly this high, and I got sticker shock.
Right.
As soon as I entered that state, I was like, holy crap.
For real. So what's that actually come out? Let's see, 6.369 minus the IFTA was 0.741.
Yeah.
So 562. Yeah. It's a thing.
Holy crap.
That's a thing. Oh, that hurts, I know.
So my guess is, just knowing, having been around a while, it's going to be really hard for me to justify buying fuel in Pennsylvania.
Right. Didn't they become number one now? Isn't that what we decided?
Number one, like as in
the highest IFTA price.
I think they did. You've got your card.
I don't have one in front of me, unfortunately. I'm looking around. I don't have any here by the desk. Right. They're all out in the truck. We're giving out. Oh Lord, I know one of you guys have a card. Come on, I know you're awesome like that. Anyhow,
we know
Angel,
Craig
what's up,
does,
man?
Because he pulled it. He pulled the Pennsylvania IFTA.
he probably just knows that guy. He's one of those guys.
Oh. Well, when you only run 3 states, I mean, you can do that. We actually have a guy that we've worked with in the past that literally only runs Florida, Georgia, and Alabama or something like that. And so he literally just knew all that stuff because he only runs that southeast corner. I was baffled by that until I learned that it was only a couple states.
Right. Ken Kelly said California is at 78, so there you go.
Yeah, I think they went up this last quarter, didn't they?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember which one went up. I don't know. There was a weird couple of them that climbed.
Oh yeah, I want to point this out. So Ross here, I normally do also. He's responding to another comment about not fueling Pennsylvania, but I was low and only put 50 gallons in to get to Ohio. That's some good business right there, Charlie.
Yep.
He knew that it was a bad situation, but he needed the fuel, and he got enough to get him to where the fuel was cheaper.
Right.
That's the way to do it right there if you find yourself in that position.
Let's
face it. We'll talk the big game of, well, you should never have that. You should never have that issue. But come on.
I'll push you further on that. Did you actually need 50 gallons to get to Ohio? Or could you have taken 30 gallons? Just saying. I know a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I'm going to get the 50 gallons in just so I get the shower and that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm like, no, not worth it. I'd rather pay the $15 for a shower.
Yeah.
and have the
Or just
lower
get your
fuel price,
or just get your shower credit in Ohio.
right? And or if you happen to be on the ES Advantage card and you happen to be fueling up at that one place that we're not supposed to actually mention, then you have free showers every day.
2 free showers a day.
Just saying. So yeah. Just saying. There you go. Probably could have taken less, he said, but it was more about the fuel additive. Okay. Hey, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
choices, right? We make them every day. So, by the way, we haven't abandoned the whole insurance thing. Cameras, insurance, the whole big topic that's been going on. We are actively looking at a couple different options right now. Even got turned on to another one yesterday that we're looking into. I did not get a chance to get a hold of them today. And I don't think we got an email back from the other one yet, Jeff, did we?
No.
Okay.
But I'm a little I'll be frank, and I'm a little disappointed by that.
Yeah.
You know? But even like with Trick or Todd solution, you have to realize that, like, we're looking at ESA, we're looking at, I can't remember the other company that Charley found out about. OIDA's insurance is not OIDA's insurance either. It's
Right.
they're brokering the deal between us and that insurance company. And as it sits right now, I don't know. I think that what he found is a pretty good deal so far from what we've seen.
We just don't want to say, hey, get this one right now, because we're still doing research and trying to find out more options. That way, and look, let's be real. We have until January and truly until April before mandatory, things happen. Maybe they put you on safety hold April 1st. Pardon me while I adjust. Oh, Lord.
So, Ira, in 1984, we're going to tell you that's a terrible idea. I only put enough fuel in my truck to be covered by the FSC and try to take loads with little to no empty miles. The no to little empty miles, great idea.
Right.
Fueling based on FSC, terrible idea. You're leaving thousands of dollars a year on the table. And if you sign up for our webinar in a couple of weeks, which this one will be free, we will have the numbers to prove it to you.
Right.
I mean, it's just trying to play that game. Like if I'm on a 50-mile load and I have this place that I know of that has fuel that's 50 cents cheaper than every place else for the next 500 miles, guess what I'm doing, Charley? If my tanks are empty, I'm filling that thing up.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm doing.
Even if it puts me overweight for that 50 miles, I'm telling you.
That's the one time there's a weigh station in that 50-mile
load. Right. That would be our luck. And you're like, please.
But yeah, I mean, there is a much longer explanation of what we just said. But, the bottom line is the bottom line, and that's what we look at. And, so on that 50-mile load example, I'm just going to use that fuel on the next load. It's not like it's going to get wasted.
Right. I understand when you've had a bad week and you're trying to play that Wednesday, Thursday game, is this load going to final out? Is it not? Okay.
Or, like Charley and I talked about it because life happened to both of us over the last year several times. And so we really struggled to get money on that ESA card.
Right.
And, at one point I was like, man, if I use the COM data to pay for this fuel, I could put that other money on the card next week.
Right.
And I was playing that game, but it was for a specific thing I was trying to do.
Right.
To try and get to that discount point. So I know that might be a little confusing, but
right.
That's business though. You have to do the best thing for your business that day, that week, that month, whatever.
Right.
And it changes. The advice that we give, you guys have probably figured it out, is by and large advice.
Oh yeah, there's definitely specifics that some guy's doing this, one guy's doing that.
We've got people running that Bush Beans account out on the East Coast that they
Mark Olinger.
They only put enough fuel on board for that load out and back, but it works for his operation. Those things are heavy.
He is killing it,
and he's making money on those 44,000-pound loads.
Every single load he pulls is like that, and he's killing it.
Yep.
And he's up there running that crazy Canada stuff, that I call Canada. Outside insurance and still mentoring. Will that work? Absolutely, Kevin. There is nothing in the contract that says you can't have your own insurance and mentor. Yeah.
Now,
And
there's
you're not
nothing in the
required to have a
contract.
camera.
There's nothing in the contract, but it would be my best guess that it would be a good idea to say something about that when you're getting insurance.
Right.
Because, Swift is supposed to cover anything that the student does to your truck. But there's always a but.
Right.
You might want to consider that to protect yourself for when Swift decides something different on something.
That's actually a pretty good point, because I didn't even think about that part of it. If you're using Swift's insurance, they cover it because that's a company driver, blah, blah, blah. If you are purchasing outside insurance and you are a trainer, I think that's actually something you should probably have a discussion with your insurance people about, because that may actually change things for them, because they're basing your rate with those
On you
outside
driving.
people. Yeah, on you and your record, not the record of your student. Oh, that's like a big fat wrench all of a sudden.
Maybe not.
It's
I
an
think we're going to
interesting
have to
thing.
get with Swift on that. Because if they are going to cover the student with their own insurance, then it's not an issue. If they're not, it might be. We need to find out.
Right.
Every time we think we have this thing figured out, we don't.
Good God.
That's
a good question, Jeff.
That's why we're not like hitting it real hard ourselves, because we're trying to find out before we go out there and say stuff. Prime dropped their.
I got that on a question list to put out.
Good. Writing stuff down is good.
Yeah, because Lord knows I'll forget. Yeah, that one actually got my brain going. I like it. And someone else said, James Bond said, what about camera? As soon as, like, we know that there are 4 camera manufacturers that they're stating. I know a couple of those have a couple different camera models. So I think it depends on which camera models they're saying specifically. I don't think that last FAQ said the specific camera models, just the manufacturers.
No, we haven't been able to find out which models they are as of yet.
And we have asked that they consider the Falcon Eye systems as well. We just haven't gotten an answer there either.
I mean, full disclosure, right now I'm looking hard at getting my own insurance because I was going to buy a Falcon Eye anyway. That's the camera I want.
Right.
And one of the discussions that we've had with some of these decision makers is, look, can you at least offer a camera that I want?
Right. And that
there are 3 and 4 camera packages out there that will do what they want it to do.
No, who was it? Somebody mentioned they got a 6 camera system or something like that. I'm like, that's a lot of cameras.
It was a Falcon Eye. That one that we're looking at will do up to 6 or 8 or something like that.
Right. Mark Torres, welcome. I don't remember seeing that name. I probably have before, but I don't know. Welcome. Ross said he believes the Smart Drive one is different than the one we have now.
I think it is too, but again, we can't confirm that.
Right.
And that's the other
as we get it, we'll put it out.
That's the other thing that we don't know is you guys that already had the Smart Drive camera, are you going to be forced to get this other thing, or are you good?
Right.
I haven't gotten an answer to that either.
Because you don't own that camera, Swift does. And they want us to own the cameras.
Right. They want us to own the camera, and they'll pay for the subscription for the cloud thing.
Right.
Ken, we've already heard it. He's coming in on that.
Oh, yeah. Don't yell at us, Ken. It ain't us.
We're just the messenger, man.
We love you, man. Ross said, yes, the camera will change according to his OOC.
Okay.
I would hope so. Yeah, it's kind of a weird deal. There's some more we could talk about with those of you who have the Smart Drive system now. I'm waiting to get an answer on the question that I asked, so I'm just going to leave it vague right now for that because we haven't been gotten back to on that. I don't want to start more of a thing than it already is out there. You know, that's not an unfair question. I mean, it's not, you know?
I mean, that's the way with all the other stuff, right?
Right?
You guys that have the camera now, you're paying a subscription fee. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know.
Angel, cool, man. I haven't even, honest to God, I haven't even dipped into it, man. I apologize. That was on Nastic
Right? He's
Insurance.
looking into the NASDAQ insurance.
So that's yet another option that's possible out
And
there.
this is something I want to bring up too. Like Angel has stepped up, Trucker Todd stepped up. Any of you guys that have any information about insurance companies, Charley was talking to someone in the other group,
Yeah.
and she's had her own insurance for years and years and loves it.
Right.
We
While
need to
running
hear
at
from,
Swift, so we already know that one's accepted.
she can't be the only one. Let's hear from some of you guys that have gone that route.
True North, that's who it was.
Right. Because I was talking to someone earlier today. The one good thing about this camera thing is it's making us look at our insurance, which is a part of our business that, quite
Right.
frankly, we forget about. We just pay it and whatever, right? Well, what if we could save some money there? How many of us have actually looked at insurance recently? I haven't done it. Well, I did it when I was considering my own authority last year, but that's something totally different. The last time I looked for insurance for this operation was probably 8-9 years ago, Charley.
Right.
And that was back when Swift and OIDA really didn't get along.
Oh my God, there was a war.
Yeah, it was like a war between the two companies, and there was just no way that Swift would not accept their insurance. That has changed, obviously, but they had a good deal back then, and we couldn't do it because Swift wouldn't take it, and so I just stopped looking. I never asked again.
Blackbeard says that AAOO offers insurance to members. I'm looking into theirs. Also, let us know what you find out there, man. Seriously.
Who is AAOO?
It's.
I'm gonna show my ignorance here.
I had the name a minute
American
ago.
Association of Owner Operators.
Let's go with that. It sounds good. Let's just leave it at that. Well, I'm sure
I would be interested because my opinion of OIDA as a organization. And
right.
If they're a similar organization that isn't so into certain things, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not personally a fan of OIDA. However, I will if they turn out to be a good choice financially and everything lines up right, that may be the choice I make simply based on that. Jeff has a little more backbone than I do on certain things, and he's got some personal issues, with OIDA, and he may or may not. It's just something he's going to have to sort out, and So it's not to say that we're not, and it's not to say that we wouldn't put that information out there when we have something solid. It's just we're trying to get as many options as we can before we put anything out, and we have some time to do it. We don't have to jump out of our backsides right at this moment.
So, Roland, I've actually given this a little bit of thought over the last week. Some people are mentioning trip leasing outside insurance in the same sentence. How much more helpful could this be? So, if you read your contract, Charley, go ahead and nod your head because I know you want to. We have the ability to haul freight for other carriers.
Right.
We have to give Swift 24-hour notice. We have to cover up their DOT numbers, all this stuff we got to do it, but we can do it. Insurance is a component of that. And if we have our own insurance, we don't have to worry about that component. However, the other thought I was having is, what if you go do a power only load for Schneider, whatever? Right. Is that going to affect your insurance rate? That's a question that you would need an answer to before you go doing that. I've only talked to a couple people, by the way, that have actually done trip leasing. I think, Charley, you mentioned you've talked to a couple also.
Right.
And, it makes sense for their business because they have a deal. That the guys I've talked to anyway, they like have buddies that have their own authority, and throughout the year they might need some help, and they pay them through the nose to do it. So it makes it worth it to them to go through all the red tape to do a trip lease.
Right.
And then they just come back to Swift when they're done working for their buddy.
Right.
So, it's a part of the business that Charlie and I have never done. And we actually would love it if more people that have actually done it would talk to us.
Right.
We were actually considering just doing a couple just to see how it works.
But honestly, it seems like a lot of work.
Right.
Blackbeard says OIDA fights for truckers' rights and AOO is structured more towards truckers' daily needs, but they are both good. I'm a member of both. I would argue, and well, okay, we probably shouldn't argue, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't believe OIDA represents me as a Swift contractor properly. I just don't. I think that they represent the typical independent guy out there really well. I think that they're a little too deep into what I do with my contract with Swift. They were head over heels over that lawsuit that Swift got hammered over and are constantly dipping their faces in that type of stuff. I don't agree with some of their things, and that's fine. We don't have to agree. That's cool. You guys like them, man. Power to you. But I will take their insurance if it comes out to be the best deal. I mean, look, unless it's a real minor difference, I might be willing to pay an extra $50 to not use OIDA. I mean, that's reality, and that's a choice we all have to make individually.
If AOA, Blackbeard, if you could like shoot me a PM or something in the Facebooks about them a little bit, because I'm intrigued. Because they, yeah, I shouldn't get into it anyway.
Right.
So we looked into this, Ken. So the yearly membership fee for OIDA is only like $50.
Right.
It's so minimal that you could try and put it into the insurance as part of the total overall cost, but we don't think, from what we've learned from Todd, that makes much of a difference. So that's just what
it's
it is.
$4.16 a day or a month. Excuse me.
Right. Pennies. For pennies a day, you too can support OIDA.
That would be a great idea, Roland.
Yeah, it would be.
He said we should have a trip lease live stream sometime.
You want to head that up, Charlie? You can do that.
Right. That's the problem is I don't know anything about it, and we don't have anyone is fluidly knowledgeable in it. I don't
talk to Brett and Becky and those people, and they might turn us on to some people that do it on the regular.
Oh, right.
By the way, we say those things, and y'all could do that too. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, you call 800-800-2200 and say, I want to talk to that guy, Brett Stewart, and his phone will ring. Whether he answers it or not is another issue.
Right.
And don't think that we don't have that problem. But
AO, same price as OIDA, Blackbeard saying. So there you
go. Okay.
Sweet. And Roland said something else here. Just FYI, I'll mentor when we have Swift camera. It's $500 per student on the bonus, right? And that will include all 4 cameras that are coming out in January. That will automatically put you guys, if you're using their insurance and their cameras and they have access to those cameras the way that they're going to, then yeah, that's true. If you go to an outside insurance and you're not giving them full access to the cameras to, look at what's going on, then you go back to the $250.
So Mark Torres, will you guys be posting all the possible insurance options? I'm going to rephrase that. What we're looking for is, at minimum, 3 options that we've vetted, and we can tell you this is what it is. We'd like to have more, but even though we have until January to April to do this, that's still, when you're dealing with insurance, we feel that you really need to do a deep dive into it a little more. So our goal right now is to have 3 insurance companies that we've talked to by the end of December. And we can say, okay, we've talked to these guys. Here's the deal. This is what's going to cost you. Just keep in mind that I shy away, Charlie, from actually quoting prices on behalf of other companies, because things like your credit score is going to come into play. How long you've been in business is going to come into play. All sorts of stuff come into play in the final insurance quote when you talk to these people. But we'll be able to tell you, like, oh yeah, it was great talking to these guys. They were really informative. They gave me a good rate. I mean, I don't even mind telling you when the time comes who I went with,
Right.
but and why. But yeah, that I think if we could get 3 insurance companies that both Charley and I, and that's the thing, both Charley and I are comfortable with doing business with, we'll put that out there.
I would actually, I'm going to go a step further and even say that if we come across something, even someone that maybe we're not comfortable doing business with, and we decide against them, I have no problem telling you that, hey, we looked at these guys and we decided no because of this reason, right?
Okay,
Whether
we
it's
can do
just
that.
flat out price or, the people that answer their phones are in China and they're 12 years old. I don't know. Is that wrong to say out loud like that? Something. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Philosophical. Oh God, right.
Giving you more rope.
Just trying to let me hang myself, And Mark, that's legit right there, man. Understand? Don't want any weird Swift safety hold nonsense. So really interested. No, and we are too. And like we said, and like Swift has said, is April 1st is the hard, got to be
Right.
done by date. I mean,
Right.
you have to be done by April 1st, and I'm willing to bet that come April 1st, there's still going to be people on safety
I
hold.
really wish they would stop choosing that date for stuff.
Right? Seriously. Oh man, Blackbeard, cool. Let me. I'll pull it up here in a couple minutes, and hell, if I can actually multitask, I don't do that well. Let's be real.
So Blackbeard, so Backroads, oh not Blackbeard, Backroads TV. I need to get my stuff figured out before I go looking for other insurance. But I'm wanting to put the Falcon Eye system in. So one of the things that Charley found out earlier today was that one of the insurance companies that he's looking into, they found out from the other group, they do offer a discount for any type of camera system in the truck. So the lady that he was talking to, she's got the Falcon Eye in there, and that gets her the discount.
Right.
And the only thing they want from that camera, period, is if there's a claim, they want to see the footage. That's it. So that's one of the ones that Charley's looking into.
You know what? I opened the phones and then never looked at them. That's funny. That's probably
Is
good
there
because I
anybody
never
there?
even put it up. I never even put the number up. But you know what
Oh.
I did? What else I didn't put up? I didn't put the fuel surcharge sticker on there.
Oh, okay.
I am just all over this tonight.
You just expect people to show up on time, and that's it. They don't get the information unless they're on time.
Y'all should have seen me jumping out my backside. I'm like, oh crap, it's 6 o'clock. I didn't have any sodas, no cigars sitting here. Like,
I almost took us live while Charley was getting his sodas just to have his empty chair there.
That would have been hilarious, honestly. Look, he that would have been justified.
I actually had my finger on the button when he came back.
Sorry, I'm typing and pulling up text messages because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, guys. What do you want from me? Oh, there we go.
Since I'm on driveways, I'm going to need a new camera. We don't have a firm answer to that other than some of the other people that in the chat today were saying that their OOCs are telling them that they are going to. So I don't want to say for sure until we know for sure, but it sounds like it. So I assure you, Backroads, this is not the case. Charley got way too much going through his head.
No, you're right. Absolutely. That is real. I'm like juggling. I just pulled up the AAOO website. I'm looking at that, and they got a cool trucker guy with a trucker cap on the front, little cartoon dude. Become a member for only $5 a month. See all the benefits. Have access as an OO member. Learn, ask questions, have fun with other truckers. That's a weird thing. I'm sorry. What? Stop it. Let's see. They got a fuel card system of some sort. authority DOT set up truck insurance, health insurance, bookkeeping and taxes, load board, CDL protection, equipment financing, truck management software. They look a lot like a lot of things ES Advantage and their team offers, like a lot of those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely something worth looking into. I will try and dip into this a little bit better and see if our values align, right? Or if I like they have an AAO versus OOIDA comparison. That's interesting.
You need to send that to me so I can look at it.
I will. Yeah, we should definitely look a little deeper into this. That's cool.
See, that's the value of the group, man. We get answers from people.
Apparently they have 3 different fuel card options. Huh. I don't know. Some of this information may not be legit. I don't know. We'll have to look into it.
I know about the load board. Give them some good news. We do have good news, sort of.
Yep. Roland, good job.
So we went live with the beta test last Wednesday. There's still some stuff that the coders need to fix.
Right.
We do have access to it. And I've been Charlie knows that I've been debating on how much to say about this. And I think this is a good time to just get it off my chest. Because I see all these people, man, the planners are lying to me. They're saying there's no freight. Dude, so with the new load board, we see what they see.
For 005 freight. Solo OTR freight.
Right. And I'm telling you, from what I'm seeing,
it's rough.
It's rough. To give you an idea, in Utah, where I'm at, I'm going to have to leave out here in the next couple of days. So I've been looking for a load on the load board to test it out. There's only 5 loads on the load board between this afternoon when I looked and Monday. 5 loads. That's what's on there. And this isn't like the old load board. This is not Swift Logistics freight. This is the legitimate AS400, what you would get dispatched on freight. And that's all there is to book right now. So that's the reality of what we're facing.
I'm logging into it right now just to pull up some
stuff.
Yeah, because the Florida market has been looking not great.
So no load boards for teams. So right now, technically it's not team freight.
Right.
But since it's AS400 freight, as you're looking through the different offerings that they have on there, we all know that there's those loads that pick up today and can deliver anywhere from right now to 3 days from now.
Right.
Here's your team freight for that load board. And, it's just another tool. If you're really stuck somewhere, you can look on there and, you can answer that question. What's up with these planners? Well, what's up with these planners is there really is only 2 loads leaving out of Des Moines today.
Right.
That's it.
And it's funny because I've actually seen it a couple times where I'm looking at the load board, right? And there's nothing. Then there's 5 and then they're gone. Mm-hmm. Because they literally just booked those loads and planners went, oh, great, I got trucks for those. Bam. They beat us to it. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing this stuff. And as it's being posted right now for us, that load board updates every 30 minutes. So, that's a thing. There is something to that. I don't know exactly when that 30-minute is. I'm trying to figure that out.
That'll be a good question for Jerry in tomorrow's meeting.
There's no meeting tomorrow. Jerry's off the rest of the week. He sent an email out yesterday or today. Sorry.
I don't pay attention to that.
No meeting this week, load board testers. Mark, would you be able to stack yourself? Yes, you would. Right now in testing, they don't want us stacking it.
Yeah, but guess who's going to stack himself some loads next week?
Right. If there's anything there, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you an idea. So I've been having life happen again, right?
Right.
Got maintenance on the truck that's not going as well as I hoped. I got my COVID shot yesterday, which put me down for at least 24 hours.
Right.
All sorts of stuff. But, I did find a stack because I need to get back east of 35 to maintain my contract that I have, right? And there was a load going from Salt Lake City to California, a load that picked up in California going to Missouri, and I could have stacked that
Right.
to get me back into where I need to be to maintain my contract. So, they were a full day apart, so I felt comfortable stacking that. That gives you
Right.
plenty of time to react if something doesn't happen. So
You're probably right, Ross. I just haven't figured it out yet, but I'm gonna figure it out at some point. And then
it's
Mark Torres said
12.5.
something.
It's at the 12.5 mark.
Right. Oh, that was the wrong one. Where'd it go? I lost it. There it is. It was the one right above that. Be nice to have access to the board, all the Swift trailers I see behind third-party trucks run. You actually could get access to that. It's called Night Swift Logistics. And you can actually get signed up to their board as power only type deal, which is what you're seeing out there. Those aren't even Swift loads in the AS400. Every now and then Swift will actually take some of those because they can't get them covered on their board. I mean, that's a thing. Ross, don't tell everyone, Dennis. ERF. So Dennis is talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave up not talking about stuff. And then, I talk about it and then it gets flooded and then we move on to the next thing, right? So whatever. Yeah, Craig. That's funny. Jeff, come run Northeast Regional percentage with him. Yeah,
right
Jeff,
ahead,
that's
man.
your next task, buddy.
Nope.
I'm sorry. I can't go up there. I can't run that. I can't go to jail. Too many years. I'm not going to do it.
See, I won't do business with Ohio, and Charley won't do business with Pennsylvania. So
New Jersey, New York, whatever.
Same kind of deal, though.
Exactly. Robbie said, a friend of mine in a different company, no freight there either. Yeah, look, it's not just this. I was watching the DAT forecast stuff this morning. They do a live video every Tuesday morning. I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm not positive. But where they talk about the spot markets and contract rates and things like that. And they seem to think that we might be at the bottom of this cycle, but saying that it's going to hold here for a while. We're going to see a slight incline, a dip back down to where we are right now. It's going to hold there for a while. Yeah, it's going to do this up and down, but only these little tiny bumps, little tiny speed bumps right now. And it's going to hold there. And they're thinking that, probably the next couple of quarters could be rough before we get back up to some better volumes to truckload ratios. Because you have to remember, they said yesterday they had 900,000 loads booked yesterday on their system. Yeah. However, that sounds like a tremendous amount, right? But a year and a half ago, they had 3 million a day.
Yeah, that's bad.
Huge, and the truckload or the load to truck ratio, that's when everybody was just like, oh, we got to go get our own authority. Let me go buy 10 trucks, right? Because there were those 3 million loads a day popping up. Well, now we have all of those people with all those trucks, and the volume is down by a third, or a third of what it was, right? So we got all these trucks sitting around willing to run for 89 cents a mile. Just saying. Like the volume, the freight rates coming out of Florida right now, not counting fuel, we're at like 88 or 89 cents a mile.
That's on the spot market?
Yeah. And that was, just the line haul rate, no fuel surcharge calculated in through their normal negotiations and that sort of thing. Because a lot of those guys do negotiate those rates into it. We talk about it all the time. The rate you get on a spot market load board type deal is an all-in rate typically. Most times that rate is what it is. Sometimes guys will negotiate an external or an extra fuel surcharge, but a lot of those shippers build those prices with a fuel surcharge type deal baked into it. So the line haul rate, it's a little confusing when you listen to these guys because they talk fast and they really zip through it and they just expect that what the hell they're talking about. So it takes a little learning on your part, but like the rates coming out of Florida were like 88 or 89 cents on the line haul rate, not accounting for fuel. And there was an interesting thing they said about the reefer stuff. Yuma is this time of year, and apparently they're actually getting started late this year because of weather issues. Green leafy vegetables from this part of the year on typically come out of Yuma, and they're actually starting that season a week or two later than normal. And they're saying that there's going to be a drop in production of 30% on those products. That's a big reduction in products. Standard manufacturing was actually, the overall manufacturing industry is actually up right now over what it was last month and the month before. So there is signs that things are coming up. Jeff and I were talking about, he saw a big job fair happening out there in his area at like Cabela's and can't remember the other one you said, Jeff. Walmart. The Walmart DCs or something like that. They're having big hiring events, and those are kind of indicators of what those people are forecasting. So they're expecting that climb spike back out. I just don't think it's going to be as steep as a lot of people think it or hope it would be. I mean, I'd love for it to be blam.
Yeah, what I would love, Charlie, is to get back to where me running a solo truck can do 28 to 3,200 miles a week and still have fuel this high.
Right.
That'd be great for my business.
Yeah, no doubt.
Terrible for my household, but good for my business.
Trucking with Bob. I'll take that. Load board for a select few. I don't ever see it happening. I'm going to assume that's the wording. So, nobody said we were going to test it either, yet we're testing it. Even Jeff and I were getting a little sad and long in the face over this testing stuff because they were having so many problems with the coding. And like I said, we are actively, I'm literally looking at the load board on my screen right now. And there's only 2 loads coming out of Florida. They're both on Friday. And they're going to Louisiana, both of them. One to Lafayette, one to Covington. They're 31,000 pounds. One 744 miles, one 626 miles. They both seem to have they have hard delivery dates. They pick up the 11th, deliver the 14th. So those are long open. Like, that's crazy to me. I would be calling them to see if we could
change that
or something. Yeah, because the 11th to the 14th on 626 miles, that's crazy. However, it doesn't have to be picked up until the 13th. So there's something there. Has to be picked up no later than 10 a.m. on the 13th. The other one is no later than 7 a.m. on the 13th. Both of them deliver between 01 and 07 and 01 and 10 o'clock on the 14th. So that, I would schedule those to pick up the 13th and run them and go. Turn them over that night. Be good.
Out of the Salt Lake area, there's 7 loads.
That's good because, the other day we were both looking at, there was like 1 load, 2 loads.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they were disappearing, and they weren't great loads to start with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark. Oh, Mark Torres. You're my dude that I met in Phoenix this week, right? You and your wife in PJ's office? Come on. I remembered something for once. Bing! We had a great conversation about guns. I'm just saying. We really did. Yep. See, I was right for once. Woohoo! I remember something, Mark. You witnessed me firsthand, so you know how this thing is not connected all there sometimes. Just saying. I'm more worried about the market after New Year's. Roland, that is a valid thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the forecasters are saying the next 2 quarters are going to be rough.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, our entire career, Charlie, even during the last one in 08, we still had that Christmas season bump, the holiday season bump, and we're not seeing that this year. So it's rougher than the last one, I think, at this point.
Yeah. And rates, granted, rates are higher now than they were then. However,
Not in Florida.
Well, no, they're about what they are. Yeah. You know what's odd? Going back to that, like California rates on the line haul rates, there is a lot of not great rates coming out of California, and these are hot markets right now.
Mhm.
There is actually some pretty serious lanes that come out of California into the Chicago area, things like that, that are high demand lanes. But I swear, off the top of my head, don't quote me on this, but I swear it was something around, like $1.40 a mile, not accounting, less fuel costs and all that, So that fuel surcharge built into those rates is removed from those rates, and the line haul rate itself was like in a $1.40, $1.50 range, and I was like, "Holy crap."
Yeah, we're used to rates over $2 there, aren't we?
Absolutely. I mean, they've been historically, the last 2 years, up in that 3, 4, $5 range even.
Mhm.
Especially some of that produce stuff coming out of there, that at the end of the summer and all that. So, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. Like Mark's saying, no rush blitz this year, unfortunately. That's what it was feeling like. We'll see. Walmart kind of did away with a lot of their craziness. So I think they've already got a lot of stuff stored up. However, places like Target, I mean, almost every Target store that I service now has tons of Connexes stored out back of their stores, right?
Mhm.
And I mean tons of them in the neighborhood of, 10, 15, 20 of them lining up the back of their stores, where they only used to have that at the Black Friday Christmas rush, right?
Mhm.
They're having them now year round. So I think that they were worried and got way stocked up early this year because of everything going on from the last 2 years. So I don't know. A lot of those stores are actually overstocked right now, and that's why we're seeing a decline in those types of places. We're not seeing as much surge needed at Walmarts or Targets or those types of accounts. So
Yeah, I mean, even the Walmarts, like Ross Jensen is saying, Walmarts have a ton too. You know, running Opelika over there, there's some of those Walmarts that they've got enough connexes in there to where what used to be a really easy back into a dock is no longer easy. They
right.
got those things all over the place now.
Oh my God. That's a sad face for me, Angel.
Yes and no.
I know. I'm
Um,
glad for him. I'm
you
sad for
know,
everybody else, for us.
Angel is probably one of the more successful people at Swift. He's fixing to go on and do other business things outside of trucking, so we're
Yeah.
happy about that. Um, but as far as getting out, I don't know. I mean, again, Charlie and I have been through this before, and you have to make your own choice, obviously. But our experience was that last time this happened, it made us into better operators. And then when the market bounced back, we made a ton of money.
Right.
And then it crashed again.
Yeah.
And we survived because we learned the lessons the first time. And then it came back again and we
And
made a
then we
ton of
learn some
money.
new lessons and get tighter and learn how to tighten that belt a little more.
Right.
Driving with Bob. I don't know. How's that for an answer? Um, it depends on what type of reefer you're talking about. Places like Target, Walmart, those things stay steady pretty much year round for the most part. At least that's been my experience.
Hmm.
And then they have their little surge moments when they're really hurting and they need more. The holiday weekends with barbecues and big holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners, all those sort of things. They get those big rushes. Uh, yeah, it's a tough question. Um, yeah, I just can't answer that and feel like I'm giving you a great piece of advice, right? So I think you're going to have to talk to guys that are working in that part of the market a little more one on one and find out, how they're doing. How's it affecting them? I seem to hear a lot of those guys, honestly, in the groups on the Facebooks and stuff, talking about that they're slowing down, and others are like, man, I haven't slowed down yet.
Hmm.
Uh, Ken said, Yuma opening this late is not a good sign. Exit 7 is the winter destination for reefers. Yeah, right.
Hmm.
And I believe Dat said they're 2 weeks late, something like that. I'm not positive. I was a little groggy when I saw it. I had just gotten back from my surgeon's office. So, which my neck is great, by the way. No, they're like, hey, we need to see you back in 3 months, Norman. But you know what? You're doing so good. Come back in 6 months. I'm like, all right. They gave
Yay.
me a little muscle relaxer to take at night, though. I mean, I'm having a little bit of a hiccup in my giddy up in the morning while I'm sleeping. I can't find like the right kind of pillow for the way my neck is now. That's like, it's a weird thing. So I actually get stuck in bed. I'm like, I can't move, baby, push me. It's weird. It's funny. So they think that maybe it's just a muscle thing and maybe I can get it squared away. Kevin Hatch said 4,500 miles this week for me. Solo team. Don't know. And Mark said, would it be a bad idea to maybe stop shuttle and give loads back to OTR till it picks up again? Just thought, well, they have those people that they need to cover there too. I mean, they've got people that they've hired for those lanes and things like that. Whether we agree with them or not, I don't know. Kevin, you're a team. So I would have been pretty happy with 4,500 this week. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, we barely broke 31 and we were not doing our normal thing. So I expected, I was hoping 4,200 for the week would have been my happy place this week and last week. That's, and that's not high numbers. I mean, let's be real. For a team, I knew teams that were running 6,000, 7,000 miles weekly, every week, week after week after week. I don't want to work that hard. Power to you guys that do. That's great. I get it. 5,000 miles a week is what Rosie and I used to do when we were running Walmart Surge down in Texas. And that was 5 days a week that we worked, and we took 2 days off every week. But we were tired, man. Like, look, I'm getting up there in a few years, and my energy levels aren't what they should be, I guess. Yeah. I want to enjoy a couple days every week, right, and just chill out. And that's what we did. So we did about 5,000 miles a week. And, that was great. This week and the week before, we did like 2,900. And you know what? Let me not tell stories here. Let me get facts. Facts. That's what we deal in, y'all, right? So let me pull up that week.
While he's doing that, how do you get on Walmart Surge? You have to ask them. Get some phone numbers and call them up and say, hey, do you guys need help this week?
Right.
What I'll do sometimes is, my favorite place is Opelika. I really like it there. I like the people. I like the operation. So if I'm over there, what I'll do is I'll call them and say, hey, I've still got, 40 hours left on my 70. You guys need some help for the rest of the week? And then it turns into like a month usually.
Right.
But that's how I start out. The thing with them is understand that they don't make as much money when they hire us because we're making that higher rate. And so what we're doing for them is covering freight that they can't cover, so that they don't get fined by Walmart for missing loads. So it kind of pencils out to be break even and they save the contract type of deal. So if you lowball the time you're going to be there and then just don't say anything until they kick you out.
Yep.
Just don't say anything. Once you're in, don't say anything.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep accepting loads and ride it to the end.
Eventually, you'll get a message on the sonar. Hey, could you come in and talk to us for a second? And you know what that means? They're kicking you to the curb.
Right. And hey, it's just part of the deal.
Yeah.
So last week we did 2,939 loaded miles, 132 empty. And we had 2,000 of that done from Wednesday to Friday. I'm just saying, it was not what I was hoping that week to be. We ran out like a real team, like big people, like grown folk. And then we sat for 2 days. That sucked. And then we had that crappy load from Yuma to Laredo that Rosie and I unloaded, reloaded. And by the way, just an update on that. We did actually get an exception pay on that. We did get paid $280, which isn't huge, but it's better than nothing. It's more than I expected.
I usually expect like $60 or $80, so that's good.
Yeah, because we Rosie and I actually both got paid $140 for the work, so a piece. So that was cool. Don't know if I should share that information or not, but I did. So there you go. It's out there. Don't care. It's whatever,
Yeah, driving with Bob, that's been my experience as well. I could barely break 2,000 a week the last 2 months. It is tough. So in these times, I'm in a little better spot than Charley is because I don't have a truck payment.
Right.
But
I went
so
back to that world.
that's $600 a week. I'm not having to fork out. And then I either use my ESA card for the discounts there if it makes sense, or if I find someplace that beats them, I use my Condata card to buy fuel. I'm constantly trying to bring that bottom line down, and that's how you survive these times. It won't last forever. We'll be back
It
up to
never
that
does.
3,000 miles a week eventually.
Oh yeah, we'll get picky again.
Yeah.
No. I'm only running the I-10 corridor. Period. Nothing over
Yep.
10,000 pounds. Right now, not the time, y'all. I'm just saying, 44,000 pounds. I'll take it. Coast to coast. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm not
I
even
don't
looking
care.
at these days. I'm not even looking at weights, man. I'm just like, whatever. It's a load.
I'm still not willing to run up in the Northeast. That's just because of I don't want to go to jail. How's that? And I'm not willing to work without my pistol. I don't care. Can't help it. However, I am switching fleets this week. I went from the general OTR team, which is 747, I think, and I'm switching to 767 this week, which is limiting myself because it just keeps me in a better spot. But it is team freight below I-40,
Which
we'll
is
see
where
how
you
this
like to
goes.
run anyway.
Right? Yeah, I-40 is the Canadian borders. I don't do that. So, and I've already got a load out for tomorrow, Jacksonville to Phoenix. So that's pretty much how we will start our week most weeks when we do this. As long as the load doesn't cancel, which is kind of a coin toss every week. Honestly, it's a UPS load, so you never quite positive that's actually going to happen. So yeah, Mark, I'm scared of California. Seems I sit every time. Yeah, right. So luckily, last week, you and your wife had a load that you guys were getting ready to snatch up. When we were on our way out there, we found out that we were number 3 in line for teams sitting for freight in Phoenix, and you were one of the teams, and the other team was Sean from Texas. So they actually, both you and them had loads lined up. That guy we were waiting on to come out of Cali didn't show up till noon the next day, man. Just saying. And then we ran our little tails off back here. So that was cool. So we got home a day later than we anticipated. Well, a week and a day, but whatever. We made money. To hell with it.
I bet you don't leave without your laptop again.
I hope I don't. Although it worked out pretty good. Honestly, it worked out all right.
It's all right.
It wasn't terrible, and I think that I like I had told you, I have a way to work around that stuff, even if I do forget the laptop. So I think we're still good every week. It's just a matter of being able to pull over and take time and do it and have a signal. Be here.
Oh, hey, I was going to ask you because it keeps coming up in multiple groups. How's that T-Mobile hotspot working for you?
Right now, I don't use it a whole lot. Some of the spots I go aren't great. I mean, when I'm in Phoenix and that, it works well in a couple of spots. Matt Wright, when he was running it, I mean, that guy got amazing service, like in the middle of backwoods Nebraska. I get a crappy signal in Ocala at the terminal. So it's hit and miss. I mean, you got to get out there. I don't use it enough to really be able to give you a honest to God, real raw, one way or the other, honestly. I use it as a secondary device or a primary device, depending on the state of the signals, Verizon versus T-Mobile in the area we're in,
Yeah.
It's ups and downs like anything else, I suppose. Let's see. Ross has a Verizon hotspot, and he says it works great. Jeff uses a Verizon hotspot. I tether my phone and use it as a hotspot when I need to do things like that. And it works, honest to God, it works great when I have to do that. Still getting 5G signals, tethering off the phone,
Yeah.
If you run it the right way, you can actually hardwire it to the phone and the signal. Just saying. Instead of having a Wi-Fi, which causes degradation in the line. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Degradation.
Do that with the hotspot too.
Yeah. Roland says he has T-Mobile Home. Works great. Movies at ultimate high definition without cracking or bugging. I'll take that. I'll fix that. Yeah. And like I said, where I've had a great signal, it is amazing. Where I've had crap signal, I use Verizon, and then I have an amazing signal again. So I use both and just flop back and forth, and that's with the T-Mobile Home as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Roland is buffering.
Right? Or buffering. Nice. You translated that well. I was like bugging. That doesn't even make sense, but okay, I'm gonna use that word. Oh, good Lord.
Well, it helps when he writes a response to correct you.
Oh. I know who that is. I'm pretty sure I think I know who that is. Just saying. Sorry.
Yeah. The other question that came up that I thought you might want to answer live is, you told me you did not buy your batteries from Swift or anybody.
I don't. I buy them at, is it Advanced Auto or AutoZone? One of those two.
I said it was AutoZone and I tagged you in it, but you were headachy, so you didn't respond.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it's one of those two. I can tell you, I can actually give you a hard answer because I got to look on the map. And it'll be right here because it's right next to my house. Like, for real.
Hey, someone found a deal on some batteries, and that the discussion came up, and I mentioned the better warranty you get with those and whatnot.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good deal. I went too far. Where are you? Great. AutoZone.
Get the zone.
That's pretty good, Jeff. You're me. You're the commercial guy. So yeah, AutoZone. So I go in there and I buy. Sometimes they have to order 2 from another store nearby. They'll bring all 4 batteries when I do that. And historically in the past, I paid about $120-ish per battery. As low as $105 per battery. It's got like an 18-month or 2-year warranty on them. And typically at about 18 months, I notice, the degradation of the battery. And I'll take a minute and say, hey, can you test these? And they're like, nope, have 4 new ones. And they send me on my way. So, and then I run through that set and I go buy another set. That's how I do it.
So you're buying batteries basically every 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, about every 3 years, what I was doing. Not sure how it's going to go on this truck. On Chewy, I had a pretty long history with that truck, so I knew when to expect certain things to pop on it. You know what I mean?
Got more electronics on this. You got more electronics on this truck, so
right. I've actually noticed last week it was weird. We were actually having normally, we'll stop the truck in the morning and do our shift change and all that. And Rosie will make some coffee for me, and the truck will be off, and we're already and had no problems. And then this past week, we were actually getting low voltage warnings just from that short time that we were turned off doing our shift change on the inverter. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that yet. I've been having a lot of problems with my tablet the last 2 weeks.
Oh,
like it will not stay cradled right. I've tried to clean out the little terminals and little Q-tip and right. And reseat it, and I keep losing charge. And then it's like, oh, we don't have a connection to the ECM. And then I won't notice it. If I don't notice it, that's when it really sucks, because then the battery dies, because those tablets don't hold a battery charge for nothing once they're disconnected, right? And, it could be less than an hour, and you'll go from full charge to dead. And you don't realize it's dead because I don't use it for navigation, right? So I'll stop at my next spot and go to change status, and I'm like pushing on the screen. It's black. And I'm like, oh man. And then I got to reseat it, get it to charge a little bit so I can turn it back on, log back in, and get Rosie logged back in, and all. It's just, oh my God. And it just turns this 5 5-minute stop into like this half-hour ordeal. So I don't know what the heck's going on with that. They need a better cradle system or something. I don't know what to do. Anybody else having a cradle connection issue? I mean, I don't take it out. I'm not that guy. I've seen people that walk around with their tablet and do stuff on it, from the truck, even with the Zonar one. And I'm not that, man, I don't take that sucker out of there because I'm worried about wearing that stupid cradle out because I'm already having problems. I don't even take it out. I don't understand how it happens.
I'm afraid to take it out because of all the things people say.
Right? Look at which plug, Kevin. The plug going into the cradle. Because I know there's that USB cable that's clamped. It's like screwed with a clamp on top that plugs right into the bottom of the cradle. And it kind of goes in this way on the side. I was actually wondering about that myself because it seems like it sticks out of the cradle an awful long way. Because let me grab one here. I got one right here. So USB, right? It's got a USB type connector. And to me, it seems like only this much, about half, is in that cradle, right? It seems like I have about half of that sticking out beyond the cradle itself. So I was wondering if maybe that was it. Maybe I'll try and poke into that in the morning and see if I can get that to seat better. Because maybe that's my problem. Because then they have a screwed together clamp that holds the USB plug in its position, right?
So I was going to say, I have that and it's pretty well seated on mine.
Is it? Like you don't see a bunch of silver between there?
No.
Dude, it's like half of that plug.
That might be what's going on then.
Huh. Maybe I was onto something, and then I forgot to check it. And if I didn't just bring it up right now, I wouldn't have thought about it till we're driving down the road. I tried that, Bob, wedging a little extra paper at the top. Doesn't really change anything. Nothing happened. Robin needs to talk more about these batteries. I'm going to have to buy some. What group number do you get? Yeah, that's too deep for me, bro. I buy their heavy duty.
Some retail.
Yeah, and I just buy the heavy duty truck batteries that they have at AutoZone. And they did well. I mean, I used to buy them in Oregon when I lived up there and was running up in those crazy cold states, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, all that stuff. Never had starting problems. Honest to God, just never really had a problem with them.
Use a bigger hammer, Ross Jensen says.
Right? Bungee cord.
Duct tape, man. Lord. Duct tape.
Yeah, Ken. They need a magnetized full back cradle. I don't even trust those, man. I don't even know what to tell you. Group 31, that's the battery group, right? I don't know. I just buy the heavy duty truck batteries. I couldn't tell you what group they're in. I apologize. I'm not smart sometimes. I go in and get them, and they worked. That's what I know. I tried them one time because I was in a weird spot, and my batteries needed changing, and I was at home, and I was 100 miles from the closest real truck stop. Well, big chain truck stop or terminal. And I was like, well, I'm just going to go check out AutoZone here in Astoria, Oregon. Well, Warrenton, really, but whatever. And they had 4 batteries. They had good cranking amps. I can't remember what the cold crank amps were on them. And I put them in, and then I paid like $104 a battery. So score. And I had just replaced a battery like 6 months before that at a TA, and those jackasses charged me $400 for a single battery.
Yeah, they do that.
And I was like, that is crazy. And they didn't have any better warranty. And that battery went bad. Just saying. So, yeah. I don't know what to do. It's one of those things. If you guys got any questions, by all means, throw them up. I know nobody called. That's cool. Because you know what? I'm not great on the phone today anyhow. But if you do want to call, you are free to call if you'd like to. If you got a pressing question you want to get in there, by all means, throw it up or call in. You know the number. If you don't, 813-548-3722, 813 live SCC. So, if not, we're going to wrap this thing up here pretty quick because, yeah, we've been at this a little over an hour and a half. Like we said, just to recap, the fuel surcharge is scrolling across the bottom. It went up this week, went back up a little bit from last week, which was a dip. Yeah, my brain's not here today. Jeff's not here today. Neither one of us is here today. We will push out information on insurance as best we can as we get it. We're just not in a rush to get it out there, which is cool. Whatever. I mean,
Yeah, and if you guys have leads, let everybody know.
Yeah, seriously, put it up in the groups on the Facebooks. Let us know who you called, what you tried, why didn't you like one company or another. I know Progressive is just crazy high, so let's just be real. It's just no matter what you do with them, it's going to be ridiculous. So yeah, so let's find out some options, you guys, and share them with us, and we will share what we find with you guys. And when we have more information, we will dip into that. Same with the cameras and all that sort of stuff. So Jeff, you got anything else?
I got nothing, man.
You ready for a nap?
I can point right away though.
That's pretty good. Look. Oh, I did it. I did it. Oh man, I don't even know how I did that. I really thought I was going to point the wrong way. That's Jeff. I'm Charlie. We'll be back next Tuesday.
Back with grandkids.
Yeah, back to the grandkids. Rosie's, yeah. We'll be back next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. You guys be safe. Take care of each other. And remember, it's just us out here taking care of each other. You guys be safe. Thanks for spending your time with us.